This is the 13th message that we have received from the future. Again, we refer you to the introduction to the first message for more background. The message. We'll start right out with something untoward that Craig said. When he first meets someone, so to speak, he looks at that person as a possible object of romance. Well, isn't that sweet? Craig wants to know what's wrong with it. Well, not much, kid. Just like there's not much wrong with listening to rock instead of classical music, reading the cheap novels instead of superior literature, eating fast foods instead of the good home cooked meals that microwave oven salesmen dread. Ha! I knew I'd get his attention again. One of these days, fella, that look of amazement is going to rip your face right apart. Whoa! There's the eye roll. What? Letters already? What's going on? Letter. So, yeah, what are the chances of tailgaters marrying each other? Pretty darn good. Of course, those numbers have only been kept for the past few decades, but it seems to be such a definite trend that interviews are now being conducted with tailgaters who don't marry other tailgaters and find out what their problem is. Letter. I mean, I kind of feel that I get an awful lot out of life, right? I hate to be the eternal optimist, but it's hard to, look at it any other way. The optimistic outlook can be a devil to overcome, but an effort must be made. It's nowhere near as easy to become sour and embittered as the poets would have us believe. Craig likes that one. Letter. So, I heard that modern civilization began, right, when we started going to the Spice Islands to make our food taste better, right? Yes, it was the beginning of a famous economic system with a name that's been lost over time. Salt and pepper could do a lot for food, but not everything. There was just too much that had to be eaten with little, if any, flavor. But even the most gut-wrenching victuals could be made palatable by the Spice Islands spices, not to speak of masterful cuisines. Yes, Craig, it started when merchants in Venice got rich from financing traders on the old Silk Road and needed somewhere else to invest their profits, and decided that they had enough to build ships and finance trade to the Far East with the Spice Islands, a name we love. The new economic system replaced mercantilism, Craig says, whereby countries used to trade to enrich themselves. The trouble was it the trouble with it was it didn't unleash the power of greed. That like this new system where individuals rather than countries enrich themselves. Craig looks perfectly serious, but you can never tell with him. That's right, stick out your tongue. Letter. I mean, yeah, I saw the silliest looking piece of farm machinery the other day, right? So, would it be possible for UFOs to, sneak down and infiltrate us by posing as, farm machinery? We've sent a copy of this letter off to the farm machinery people and should have gotten a reply by now. Is that all? Craig says yes. Those letters just came in out of the blue. As for the next order of business, we're often asked what we, the society, think of the suggested new regulation barring nervousness as a first step in the proposed elimination of tension generally. It's suggested that this will be the greatest boon to national health since the anti smoking campaign. Under normal circumstances, we'll come down on the side of nervousness. Its abandonment would devastate whole cultures. In this and many other countries, the major religions can attribute their burgeoning membership to people seeking a cure for nervousness. And, of course, the pharmaceutical industry only began to come unto its own with the modern advent of nervousness. We shouldn't forget the exercise craze either. A lot of scientific foreheads were self-slapped when the real reason for it occurred to them. People who couldn't handle religion and those who got tired of putting their faith in pills discovered in exercise a halfway decent way of reducing nervousness. The pharmaceutical industry, no fools, has been up in arms, by the way, accusing the exercise industry of climbing the ladder of success on the back of pills. Again? Craig, see what's going on. Letter. I mean, just how close to the present does the future need to be to qualify as the, near future? It's still the near future if the TV news anchors smile when the meteorologist comes on. TV news anchors love meteorologists, folks. Letter. So, I'm told that my paranoid delusions are not reality. Now, should I believe it? You couldn't even if you tried. Letter. I've heard that the society headquarters is filled with endless motion and limitless space, right? Now, how in the world is that possible? Right? Our staff scientists now think that we're in the event horizon of a black hole. What they can't agree on is whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Is that the last letter for now? All right. Another much under-mentioned point. Research has pinned down lack of nervousness as the reason why underdeveloped countries have difficulty modernizing. Now, a lot of big brains are starting to realize that it doesn't make sense for us to get rid of our nervousness at the same time as we're trying to make less wealthy countries nervous. Plus, economists are beginning to see a possibility for the first really big breakthrough in the field since the classical economic boys, who figured that it's not just greed, but also the spirit of competition that spurs us on in our Western society. We want to win. But it's now agreed that the natural spirit of competition is too mild an ingredient to create the great stew of modern civilization. The hot flame of nervousness is needed to boil that pot. What, again? Letter. Ahem. I don't ever notice you people talking about loving life, right? To be precise, our specialty now, you read in the obituaries about someone having loved life. It's grammatically incorrect to speak of loving life while in its throes. Letter. I mean, what do you think of the saying, history repeats itself? First is tragedy, then is farce. Scientists are currently looking into that possibility. Letter. I've heard them talking about discovering the extraordinary in the ordinary. Now, how in the world do you do that? We referred this question to our Surrealism department upstairs. What, Craig? Yes, and then it will be referred by them to our Dada section, and also farmed out to psychoanalysts. Why is that anyway, Craig? He says that according to Breton, reason has to be eliminated in order to isolate the automatic. Well, that sounds reasonable. Letter. Isn't it the case that the less evidence you have for something being true, the more reason you have to believe it? I love the look Craig is giving me because he thinks he knows what I'm going to say. But let's face it, it's easy to believe something when there's plenty of evidence. True faith, on the other hand, is revealed when there's virtually no evidence, but you still believe it. Craig didn't expect that. You find that hard to dispute, don't you? Letter. Is it true that they finally figured out how to have your cake and eat it too? Yes, almost. Or to put it another way, how to get something for nothing. It's the result of a secret collaboration between scientists and theologians that's been going on for God knows how long. They finally agreed that the Garden of Eden story is true. Before Eve talked Adam into taking the fatal apple bite, mankind did get something for nothing. Neither Adam nor Eve ever had to work. So we know that it's not only possible to have our cake and eat it too, but the way it was originally intended by God. Is that all? Craig, see if you can find one more short one. He has a good track record for this, we have to admit. Thank you. Letter. Even me? Yep.